Hey everyone, it's Skylar. Welcome back to my channel, and we are on to day 17 of 31 Days of November challenge, and this is number 3 of horror movies from the 1970s decade, and I am closing this trilogy of horror movies because on the guideline I have to do 3, so I'm closing this out with a movie that I will admit I've seen it once before this and I couldn't quite grasp it, so now watching it again I more or less understand the film and understand why this film was one of the first video nasties to be put on the list. And you guessed it. Well, if you don't guess, and you probably will guess now, that this movie came out in 1972. And it is The Last House on the Left original, starring Sandra Peabody / Cassell as Mary, because it's spelled M-A-R-I, not M-A-R-Y. So it's Mary Collingwood. David A. Hess as Krug Stillo. Martin Kove. You're probably wondering, that name sounds familiar. I will say to you, John Kreese from The Karate Kid. He was actually in this movie as the deputy. Lucy Grantham as Phyllis Stone. Fred Lincoln as Fred Weasel Podolsky. Jermaine Rain as Sadie. Mark Scheffler as Junior Stilo. Cynthia Carr as Estelle Collingwood. Gaylord St. James as Dr. John Collingwood. Marshall Ankler as the Sheriff. Ada Washington as Ada. Steve Milner as hippie taunting deputy. So it was directed by Wes Craven, rest in peace. Produced by Sean S. Cunningham. Written by Wes Craven. So Wes Craven obviously written and directed this. And if you don't know who Wes Craven is, I don't know what planet you are from, because Wes Craven was behind The Nightmare on Elm Street from '84. Music by David Alexander Hess, who is also in this. He's Krug Stillo. Cinematography by Victor Hurwitz. Edited by Wes Craven. Production company is Sean S. Cunningham Films Enterprises, the Night Company. Distributed by Hallmark Releasing. And this was released on the 30th of August 1972. And I hope I do this review justice. Movie starts off in the lake with ducks swimming and a mailbox with Mary's name on it, with a love heart and arrows drawn on it. Then it zooms out onto the road and a car stops the mailbox, and a dog jumps into the car and gives the man the mail and puts it into the mailbox. Stands at the car and the dog barks. Then it zooms to the house and the girl is having a shower, drives herself off, gets herself ready. Then a lady and a man, who it's basically to mum and dad, are talking. Then a girl kisses her dad and then leaves, but their dad gives her a necklace beforehand and she loves it. Then the girl runs through the woods and talks about the band Bloodlust. Then sits by a rock, talks some more, and wanders round the woods and says the leaves are beautiful, and then talks about her boobs, and then goes into a car and drives along the road and hears a news about the murderers that you see. Then you see the convicts in a hotel room and talk among each other. Then a knock on the door and more men enter the room and talk among themselves. Then a man and lady are talking in the bathroom about his dad. Then the man says that he wants to be a frog. This is Junior. Junior wants to be a frog. He calls himself Junior and wants to be on his own. Then his dad, who's played by David Hess, comes and tells his son to leave the lady alone. Then the two girls, which is Mary and her friend, go and get some ice cream. Then two men make out with the lady, which is David Hess's character and another character, but the lady pushes him away and talks some more. Then two girls talk along the street and sees a man and talks to him, and it's Junior. Then the girls go to the apartment and talk with the gang. Then the parents put some banners up for their daughter and make her out and get a cake out of the oven. Then back at the apartment, the gang are teasing the girls about that they wanted some grass. Then one of the girls tries to scream, then produces a knife. Then parents bake a cake. It goes backwards and forwards from the parents to the gang. You'll get what I mean. Yeah, they bake a cake and put it out the oven. Then back at the apartment, the gang are teasing the girls about they wanted some grass. Oh yeah. And then the parents bake a cake in the kitchen for Mary's birthday. Then kiss some more. Then back at the apartment, one of the guys starts to undress one of the girls and kisses her breasts and touches the girl's breasts, then punches the girl's stomach and proceeds to rape her. Then the parents make out and have a drink. Then the next day, the gang come out of the apartment with Mary, and the other girl is already in the boot of the car and drives away. Then the parents get worried that Mary didn't come home last night and calls everyone to see if they have heard from her, but they haven't seen her. Then at the woods, the gang comes around in the car and one of the men is getting laid in the back of the car while it's still driving. That's David Hess's character. That's still driving. Then they drive around for a while. Then the police come to Mary's mum and dad's house to talk to them about Mary. Then the gang pulls over in the woods and gets out of the car. Then the parents and the policeman talk a lot more but haven't heard anything. Then the gang open the boot and the girls bite the gang. Then the parents escort the policeman out of the door. Then the gang drag and push the girls into the woods. Then the police car drives away. Then the gang tells each other what to do. Then tells the girl, which is Mary's friend, to pee her pants. Basically they say, you need to piss your pants. And slices her face. Then she pees her pants and all laugh at her. Then tell her to take them off and she does. Then tells her to hit her and she does. Then the son, which is Junior, tells them to embrace each other and make out with each other, which they do, but are frightened, but still do it anyway. Then back at the house, they still don't hear anything and the police tells them they haven't heard anything either. Then both police officers have a talk. Then the gang have a talk and watch one of the girls put her top on, and then one of the girls runs away and then goes to hide. Then Mary talks to Junior and calls him Willow. Then the other girl is still running. Then Mary tells Junior to come with her, and then the girl is at the other end of the stream. Then meanwhile the policemen are being told about the gang and goes after them. Then the girl is still running and one of the gang trips and the girl is finally caught but gets a rock on her head. And the girl is still running and they both are still after her. And she sees a grave site and sees a car, but the gang catch up to her and stab her in the back, but she's still alive. Then crawls slowly. Then the police come past and the police car stops and they get out. Then the gang catch up to the girl, surround her, and she spits in one of the gang's faces and then gets pushed around and gets repeatedly stabbed, then slices her. Then Mary and Junior try to run away. Then the gang leaves the girl for dead, half naked. Then the gang catches up to the other girl and shows Mary her friend's arm, because they actually slice off her arm, and she screams. Then two policemen run after a car and the car drives away. Then the girl screams as they slice her and then proceed to rape her. Then the gang and Mary get up and look around. Then Mary begins to pray, then turns round and walks away, and they walk after her, and Mary goes into the stream, and Mary walks deeper and deeper and deeper into the stream and is shot in the back of the head. Then the dog hears the gunshots and Mary is dead, and Junior and the gang walk away. Then the police walk down the road, and one of the policemen hears a truck, waves it down and gives them a lift, but they fall down, and then they both talk, but the lady drives off. Then the gang get to the stream and washes the blood from themselves. Then it's night time. Then it's night time, and the parents have guests in the house, which are Mary's killers. There you go. Which are Mary's killers. And they talk away and get shown to their rooms and are left on their own to talk to each other. Then the two policemen are still walking away. Then the gang and the parents are sitting round eating dinner and drinking wine and talk some more about business companies. Then Junior is having nightmares about Mary's rape and death. Then screams. Then his dad comes in and tells him off. Then the others are finishing their meal, and then the gang talks about the parents, and Junior is in pain and vomiting in the bathroom. Then Mary's mum comes into the bathroom, asks if he's okay, but notices Mary's necklace on Junior's neck, but carries him out of the bathroom and goes to his room. Then Mary's mum goes back to bed but can't get to sleep and looks into the suitcase and sees Mary's bloody trousers and overhears the gang say that they have killed Mary. Then the parents run out into the night and sees Mary's dead body in the river and hold their daughter. Then back at the house, one of the gang has a dream, wakes up, and then the parents go to another room. Then the mum has a glass of wine and she can't sleep, so they both talk to each other, and the father gets a rifle. Then they both go outside and take a walk. Then the father sets a trap around the house, then pours liquid on the carpet. Then the mum ties his tie behind his back. Then the father does something on the stairs. Then the mum catches the man's penis on his zipper. Then the father creeps into the bedroom and wakes one of the gang members up. Then the lady gives him a my mum. She gives him a blowjob and bites his penis off. Then the other two wake up and the father shoots the man and then has a fight with him and gets punched in the stomach. Then Junior holds a gun and aims it at his dad but shoots himself instead. Then he hears a chainsaw and it's the father, and comes back into the living room. But then the guy gets electrocuted and the girl tries to escape. But the mum gets to her and the girl runs to the lake and stabs her. And the father uses the chainsaw and kills the other man, and the police come in and take the chainsaw away from the parents and walk away. So the end. Wow. That was long. So anyway, you want my thoughts about it? I'll tell you my thoughts about it. It was alright. It was a bit slow, and then around the 30-minute mark it started to get interesting. Then after the kills it got a little bit boring, and then at the end it was a little bit better. So favourite scene in the film, the favourite scene I liked was how the parents got the revenge for their daughter's death. So the mum and dad weren't soft in the end. I liked, even though there was like a rape aspect, well, two rape aspects of the film, I liked the revenge part. So as you get your, as people say, some films are disturbing as they're rape and revenge films. I just, for the most part, it was alright. I can't say that it was the bestest movie slasher, whatever you want to call it, because to me it wasn't a slasher. It was in a way a video nasty, but to me it was more of a rape / revenge movie on the part of the parents. So I get that, I understand what Wes Craven was doing with this film, but I don't get how he says, like, the tagline on the film, it's like, just repeat over yourself, it's only a movie, it's only a movie, it's only a movie, because I didn't find it that it was gonna, like, how can I explain this in a way that I didn't find it not really disturbing. I know people would argue with me and tell me, Skylar, you're nuts, this is a disturbing film. It's just my personal preference. I just didn't find it disturbing compared to, like, if you were trying to compare this movie to other video nasties that's on the list that are highly more disturbing than this. Yeah, there was lots of gore, there was rape, there was a execution style murder, there was stabbing, there was a decapitation of the arm. So to me it was a gory film, and you know that my YouTube channel name is Skylar Loves Gory Movies. I liked it for the gore, for the bit of gore it had, but other than that the story didn't, that's why I was saying it was a bit boring at the start. Then the gory scenes were excellent, then it got boring, and then when the parents took revenge, I liked the fact that he had the revenge. That's what I'm trying to explain. I liked the fact that it was a revenge part to it.